In this session, we will create the base feature and center hole of the 3-tooth cutter. We will begin at a point after starting a new part using the default template. The first feature that we'll add is a datum axis that will be located at the intersection of the right and top datum planes. We will first select both of these planes by holding down the Control key so that multiple items can be selected. And then click on the Datum Axis tool icon. As we can see, a new axis, A1, has been created. We will now create a new datum plane that goes through the A1 axis and is at an angle to the right datum plane. But this time we will select the command icon before we select the graphical objects. Therefore, we will start by clicking the mouse while it is positioned away from any object in order to make sure that nothing is selected. Then we'll click on the Datum Plane tool icon. Now we will click on the A1 axis. As you can see, the new datum plane is shown in preview mode, and the A1 axis is listed in the datum plane dialog window with the constraint of through. We will now hold down the Control key and then select the right datum plane. Next, we double-click on the angle and set it to 60. And then click on the OK button of the datum plane dialog window. In order to illustrate how our new datum plane can be modified, we will now double-click on this new DTM1 datum plane, followed by double-clicking on the 60-degree angle. We will now key in a value of 30, followed by selecting the Regenerate icon. We will now begin the process of creating the base feature of the cutter. We will be creating an extruded protrusion, so we will click on that icon now. In the dashboard, we will set the depth specification so that the extrusion occurs on both sides of the sketch plane and the depth is set to 2 units. And then click on Placement and Define, followed by clicking on the front datum plane in order to define it as our sketch plane. Now we will click on the Sketch button to enter Sketcher. In order to add our new datum plane as a reference, we will now click on the datum plane and then close the References window. Next, we'll click the right mouse button and select the Circle option. Now we will sketch the circle shown here that is centered at the intersection of our references, and then set its diameter to 8 units. While the circle is selected, we will click the right mouse button and change the circle to a construction circle. Next, we will sketch the circle shown here, and then set its diameter to 12. We will now sketch a second solid circle that is the same size as the first circle, which can be seen in the sketch by the R1 symbol. Finally, we'll sketch a third circle whose center is directly under the circle that we just created. Notice that Pro E will help us snap to this position. And then we'll move the mouse outward until we see the R1 symbol again. We'll now select each of these circles that we just created and then click the right mouse button and convert them to construction circles. We'll now select the Create Arc by 3-point icon and then sketch the 3 arcs shown here. We'll now select the Continue icon and then verify and accept the new feature. Next, we will add a centered hole that is aligned with the A1 axis. We will start by selecting the A1 axis after setting a filter at the bottom of the screen to datums. Now we will click on the hole icon. In the dashboard area, we will now change the diameter to 8 units. Next, we'll click in the Shape Slide Up panel area and then change the depth specification to Through All on both sides. Finally, we will verify and accept the hole.